Hey, this is Andy with Rocket City Pinball. This is a service bulletin of sorts if you've purchased a 3D start button from me recently for a Stern game whose manufacture date is after November 2021. In January 2022, I received word from a customer that my 3D start button didn't fit and that it was too loose and wouldn't snap on. As you know from my installation demonstration video, I've designed these so that they snap onto this white piece here, which is part of the start button housing assembly. Now, the customer noted that another game that they had that was manufactured in late November of 2021 had no problem installing a start button there, but the game with the fit issue was manufactured in December 2021. A local friend of mine also got a game that was manufactured in December, so I went to his house to investigate, and sure enough, his had the same problem. And here's the culprit. The internal white piece in the start button assembly has changed. You can easily tell if you have the new one, because the old one is an opaque white color, as you can see, a solid white, whereas the new one is a little bit more of a translucent white color, and you can actually see too that the legs are a little bit shorter, so the overall assembly length may have changed as well. So with my rush start button here, for example, you can see how the button wants to snap nice and tight onto the old design, but the new one is loose. Now, I spent a few years of my career working in an aircraft factory, and part of my job there was dealing with supplier issues and part obsolescence, so I'm familiar with issues like this. And there's a few possibilities here. The first possibility is that this might be a permanent change, whether Stern completely changed suppliers, or the original supplier has changed the design of the part, whether from a manufacturing change there or even at a sub-supplier. The second possibility is that this is only temporary. Perhaps this is part of the supply chain issues we've been hearing about, and they got these slightly different buttons from a different supplier as a stopgap until their original supplier catches up. The third possibility is perhaps these new assemblies are considered an interchangeable part, and perhaps they're both on the shelf or even mixed in the same box. Now, ultimately, I don't work there, so I don't know which is the case, and since I don't know, I'm hesitant to change the button design because I could just reduce the inner diameter of my button so that it'll fit on the new assemblies, but if the old design ends up working its way back into stock at Stern, then a reduced inner diameter won't fit on the old button. So the best course of action for now is to issue this service bulletin video to demonstrate a really simple resolution for it. So check your manufacturer date. If your game was manufactured after November 2021 and your new Rocket City Pinball 3D start button doesn't snap on as designed, here's two options to help you resolve it. Now, the first option is to just simply glue it in. Since they're really, really close, if you look at them together, you can see they're almost the same, so it's a very, very slight difference. So what you can do is take your start button, put your white piece in there, make sure you line up the legs oriented in the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock positions with respect to the button, and just take some super glue. I like this gel type, and just put a couple dabs around the perimeter of the white piece. That'll be enough. A liquid super glue might not be the best idea because it could wick down along the sidewall and pool at the face, so use a gel, or you could use whatever type of glue you happen to have available. The other option is, if you don't want it to be quite so permanent, is you could just use some Scotch tape. So you'll need Scotch tape and scissors. You'll need an 8.5-inch long strip of tape, and that's enough to take you around the circumference of the new button twice. So I've already pre-cut my length of tape here, so I'm going to show you how to do it. So you just line it up with the front edge of the button, stick it on. This is a highly complex process here. Just go all the way around. Don't worry about all the tape hanging off the back. We're going to take care of that in just a moment. Alright, so this length of tape takes you around the circumference twice. If you want an even more snug fit, you could add a little bit more if you want to. But anyway, so get all the way around. Okay, now we've got 2 layers of tape on there. So then you take your button, and as you can see, now it snaps on nice and snug. So then you just take your scissors, and you come to the excess that we have here, and you're just going to cut the excess all the way up to the edge of the button. I'm going to cut it on the back side too to make my life easier. And then you should be able to come in here and just tear off the excess like this. It's okay if you got a little bit sticking out because it's not going to affect the function of the button. Like so. And there you go. So now you've got a nice snug fit on your button. And you can still install it just like that, and you won't see any of this tape that sticks out if it doesn't tear cleanly, because that's going to be inside the assembly once you install it. So I'm sorry for this extra step. I mean, I really wish I had more insight into what the actual situation is over at Stern with this part, but at least, we have a really simple resolution that doesn't require anything that you probably don't already have in your home or on location. So if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to me through my website, rocketcitypinball.com. Thanks for watching.